Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi outlines 5 key global priorities to strengthen disaster resilience during his address to the International Conference of Disaster Resilient Infrastructure 2025. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar tells his visiting British counterpart David Lammy that India will never accept perpetrators of evil being put on par with victims. Russia launches a barrage of missiles and drones across Ukraine, killing at least 5 people days after Kiev's daring spiderweb drone raid. And India's extreme poverty drops to 5.3% in 2022-23 from 27.1% in 2011-12, lifting 269 million people out of poverty, says a World Bank report. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the International Conference on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure 2025 via video conferencing today. Addressing the gathering, he welcomed the participants to the International Conference on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure 2025, marking its first ever hosting in Europe. He expressed gratitude to the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, and the Government of France for their support in organizing the event. The Prime Minister also extended his best wishes for the upcoming United Nations Oceans Conference.
This conference is being hosted in Europe for the very first time. I thank my friend President Macron and the government of France for their support. I also extend my wishes for the upcoming United Nations Oceans Conference. Friends, the theme of this conference is shaping a resilient future for coastal regions. Coastal regions and islands are at great risk due to natural disasters and climate change.
Underlining the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure's ongoing work with 25 small island developing states, Prime Minister Modi expressed his appreciation for the presence of representatives from the Pacific, Indian Ocean and Caribbean regions and welcomed the African Union's participation in the coalition.
The Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure is working with 25 small island developing states. Resilient homes, hospitals, schools, energy, water security, and early warning systems are being built. Given the theme of this conference, I am glad to see friends from the Pacific, Indian Ocean and the Caribbean here. Further, I am happy that the African Union has also joined the CDRI. Friends, I would like to draw your attention to some important global priorities. First, courses, modules, and skill development programs on disaster resilience need to become part of higher education.
Drawing attention to the key global priorities, the Prime Minister outlined 5 key topics to strengthen disaster resilience infrastructure.
Many countries face disasters and rebuild with resilience. A global digital repository for the learnings and best practices would be beneficial. Third, Disaster resilience requires innovative financing. We must design actionable programs and ensure developing nations have access to finance. Fourth, we consider small island developing states as large ocean countries. Due to their vulnerability, they deserve special attention. Fifth, strengthening early warning systems and coordination is crucial. This helps timely decisions and effective last mile communication. I am sure that discussion in this conference will consider these aspects.
British Foreign Secretary David Lammy arrived in New Delhi this morning on a two-day visit to review various aspects of the strategic partnership between the two countries. The British Foreign Secretary met India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi on Saturday. He will also call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi later in the evening. In his opening remarks, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that India is practicing a policy of zero tolerance against terrorism and it will never countenance perpetrators of evil being put on par with its victims.
Let me thank the government of the United Kingdom for the strong condemnation of the barbaric terrorist attack in Pahalgam in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and for your solidarity and support to India in the fight against terrorism. We practice a policy of zero tolerance against terrorism and expect our partners to understand it. And we will never countenance perpetrators of evil being put at par with its victims.
Dr. S. Jaishankar termed the recently concluded free trade agreement between India and the UK and the Double Contribution Convention a milestone. During his meeting with UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy, Dr. Jaishankar said that the agreement will not only propel two-way trade and investment, but will also have a positive effect on other strategic aspects of bilateral ties between the two countries. He added that it would also contribute to the strengthening of supply and value chains.
The recent conclusion of the India-UK FTA and the Double Contribution Convention is truly a milestone. It will not only propel our two-way trade and investment, but will also have a positive effect on other strategic aspects of our bilateral ties. It would also contribute to the strengthening of supply and value chains.
The Prime Minister's office has also highlighted a remarkable milestone. India has slashed extreme poverty to 5.3% in 2022-23, down from 27.1% in 2011-12, according to the World Bank, as reported by the Financial Express on Saturday. This sharp decline, lifting 269.4 million people out of poverty, reflects the success of targeted welfare schemes, economic reforms and improved access to essential services under the Indian government's leadership. The multidimensional poverty index further shows non-monetary poverty dropping from 53.8% in 2005-06 to 15.5% in 2022-23, enhancing living standards nationwide. This achievement, announced via the Namo app by Prime Minister's office, highlights how World Bank has positioned India as a global model for poverty alleviation, showcasing inclusive growth. The data, based on 2022-23 Household Consumption Expenditure Survey, underscores a transformative decade for one of the world's largest democracies. Prime Minister Modi's office also posted on X, throwing light on an article by the Economic Times. The article notes how it is a significant boost to India's industrial landscape. The government initiatives like Make in India and production-linked incentive PLI schemes, they are fostering a pro-manufacturing environment, as highlighted by Sarat Zit, a global leader in cutting tools. The Economic Times reports that India's manufacturing sector is poised for growth, driven by workforce upskilling, R&D investment, and circular sustainable economic practices. This development positions India as a competitive player on the global stage, attracting international companies to set up facilities and collaborate. With Ceratizit expanding its local production in Bengaluru and Kolkata, this shift underscores India's potential to lead in advanced manufacturing, bolstered by government support and a skilled workforce. This marks a new era of economic empowerment and innovation. The Indian government has completed 11 years in office under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. Next, we get you how good governance has impacted lives in Indian economy. From isolation to integration, the northeastern part of India has witnessed a decade of transformation. Prime Minister Modi's Act East policy is unleashing the northeast's potential as India's gateway to Asia. Peace in this part of the country is turning the conflict zones into development hubs. DD India's Vishal Baristo brings you this report on 11 years of the Modi government and the impact of PM Modi-led governance in the northeastern part of the country.
The Northeast region is now a gateway to the Southeast Asia. Hill states like Nagaland have now become more accessible by a continuously increasing train network.
Nagaland is a hill state. You have railway had in Dimapur more than 100 years ago. Then it has come to the next station, and the railway station is coming to the capital Kohima. So this year also we are opening to one station, and 4 lane has reached Kohima, and then it will go its way to Imphal, and that is the route to look East policy, and the East policy is in action, and that is declared as National Highway, Trans Highway to Southeast Asia.
The drastic change in the northeastern region has been the result of a decisive leadership at the centre.
There has been a complete paradigm shift in the attention that's given to the Northeast, in terms of the thought process, in terms of the financial investments, the development. So from all levels, there has been a huge change. Starts off with the Honorable Prime Minister himself, who has come more than 70 times to the Northeast in the last 11 years. More than 700 visits by different ministers of the Government of India have been made to Northeast.
But that is not all. To make Northeast AI ready, a blueprint of skill development has already been finalized. Once a frontier region of the country, the northeastern region has now become a treasure trove of opportunities. Vishal Baristo's report for DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. US-China trade talks set for Monday in London. Trump says the meeting should go very well. The dramatic rift between Donald Trump and Elon Musk is sending political and economic shockwaves internationally. And Muslims across the world celebrate the festival of sacrifice, Eid Laza. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. On to the Russia-Ukraine conflict now. Russia launched a major overnight assault on Ukraine targeting Kharkiv. The city mayor said that the attack on Saturday killed at least 5 people and left several others injured. According to the Ukrainian military, the scale of the assault was intense, with 206 drones, 2 ballistic missiles and 7 other missiles fired across the country. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry confirmed the strike, stating that high-precision, long-range weapons and drones were used to hit what it called military targets in Ukraine. The ministry claimed all designated targets were successfully destroyed. In a significant diplomatic move, US President Donald Trump announced a new round of trade talks with China set for Monday in London, following a call with Chinese President Xi Jinping. China is unlikely to loosen its grip on the export of rare earths needed to manufacture electric vehicles, fighter jets and microchips, despite the call between Trump and Xi on Thursday. The scheduled talks mark the second round of negotiations since Trump initiated a trade war with sweeping tariffs this year. The talks involving U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer aim to ease tensions between the world's 2 largest economies. Donald Trump, via his Truth Social platform, posted about the talks, saying that the meeting should go very well. Last month's Geneva talks led to a temporary tariff reduction, with U.S. duties on Chinese goods dropping to 30% and China's dropping to 10%. However, with the truce nearing its August expiration date and Trump accusing China of violating terms, stakes are now higher. And a dramatic rift between US President Donald Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk is sending political and economic shockwaves internationally. Once allies, the two are now publicly involved in a feud after Musk slammed Trump's massive spending bill as a disgusting abomination. Trump retaliated by threatening to cancel Musk's lucrative government contracts, including NASA-linked SpaceX deals. Though Trump downplayed the feud on Friday, calling Musk a man who has lost his mind, he hinted at reviewing billions in federal subsidies Musk's companies receive. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said that he was too busy working on international issues to be thinking about tech billionaire Elon Musk following their public falling out.
Honestly, I've been so busy working on China, working on Russia, working on Iran, working on somebody, I'm not thinking about it.
US President Donald Trump further announced on Friday that a decision on the next Federal Reserve chair is imminent, signaling a possible shift in global monetary policy. Trump emphasized the need for lower interest rates and called former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh highly thought of, fueling speculation that he may be the next pick for the Fed chair. Trump has long criticized current Fed chair Jerome Powell for being too slow to cut rates, urging a full percentage point reduction. A change in Federal Reserve's leadership could reshape US monetary policy, impacting global markets, exchange rates and international investment flows. Further, Donald Trump signed 3 executive orders aimed at strengthening US defenses against drone threats, accelerating commercial drone use and reviving supersonic air travel. The order marks a sweeping effort to modernize US airspace control, authorizing routine drone operations beyond visual line of sight while pushing back against reliance on Chinese drone makers. Trump's orders create a federal task force to enhance real-time drone detection, expand protections around sensitive locations, and assist local law enforcement. The executive actions also aim to fast-track testing of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, benefiting US firms such as that of Joby Aviation and Archer Aviation. Additionally, Trump ordered the FAA to lift a 1973 ban on overland supersonic flight, provided aircraft produce no audible sonic boom on the ground. Tensions erupted in Los Angeles on Friday as protesters clashed with riot police outside the Edward R. Roybal Federal Building amid reports of ICE raids. Aerial footage showed police tackling demonstrators and deploying smoke devices to disperse crowds marching against President Trump's renewed immigration crackdown. The operation follows Trump's multi-pronged enforcement strategy, which includes deporting suspected Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador and targeting foreign student visas. The escalating unrest has drawn global attention, raising concerns over human rights, due process, and the broader diplomatic fallout from US immigration policies. Tehran on Saturday criticized the US travel ban targeting Iranians and citizens from 11 predominantly Middle Eastern and African nations, calling the move the evidence of a racist mindset. In a statement, the Foreign Ministry's Director General for Iranian Expatriate Affairs, Alireza Hashemi Raja, described the policy set to begin on June 9th as a clear indication of the influence of a supremacist and racist thinking among US decision makers. The decision indicates the deep hostility of American decision makers towards the Iranian and Muslim people, he added. Earlier, US President Donald Trump signed an executive order reviving sweeping restrictions that echo his first-term travel ban, justified on national security grounds following a firebomb attack at a pro-Israel rally in Colorado. Apart from Iran, the US ban targets nationals of Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. A partial ban was imposed on travelers from 7 other countries. In a major step towards revolutionizing India's healthcare landscape, Delhi Forum Health News was convened today in the national capital. Themed Catalyzing India's Digital Health Transformation, Powering Healthcare's Next Leap, the forum spotlighted a collective commitment to empowering health, advancing equity, and transforming care. With a sharp focus on patient access, health equity, and clinical transformation, the forum brought together the nation's foremost healthcare leaders, policymakers, and digital innovators. Each session tackled real-world challenges, paving the way for actionable solutions that can truly impact lives. As India navigates a transformative era in digital healthcare, this initiative promises to lay a robust foundation for inclusive, accessible, and technology-driven care for all.
The objective of DHN is to catalyze India's digital health transformation and bringing together, the innovators, transformers, all the leader of the entire value chain, whether they are from the hospitals, whether they are startups, whether they are health insurance companies, government, organizations, medical devices companies. So the idea of DHN Forum is to bring together every, components of the value chain under the one roof.
The newer tools are meant to improve the efficiency, to make our lives easier and much more comfortable. And that is what digital tools will do to healthcare. Digital has also improved in those technology. I mean, today you have digital stethoscopes that can augment heart care sounds from remote locations. You can do haptic-based sensors that can touch and feel and tell you what is the feeling. So the notion of doctor and patient having to be in the same space got wiped out with COVID.
Muslims worldwide are celebrating their second holiest festival, Eid Laza, also known as Eid al-Zuha or Bakrid today. Scores of devotees thronged the historic Jama Masjid to offer prayers and celebrate the festival of sacrifice. Dressed in traditional attire, worshippers came together in a spirit of devotion, unity and celebration. As one of the most significant celebrations in the Islamic calendar, it honors the unwavering faith and devotion of Prophet Ibrahim and marks the end of the annual Hajj pilgrimage. But beyond its religious significance, Eid al-Azha is also a moment to strengthen bonds with family, friends, colleagues and loved ones. In Ajmer city of the West Indian state of Rajasthan, people gathered in large numbers on the occasion of Eid al-Azha. They offered prayers and exchanged greetings of peace and goodwill. The Balnoe Battalion of the Indian Army organized Eid Laza celebrations and joined local civilians in marking the occasion in the Balnoe area of the Mendhar sector located in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. And next updates from French Open. World number 1 Arna Sabalenka will face second seed Coco Gauff in the final Roland Garros on Saturday as both look to land their first French Open crown. Long considered a hard court specialist, Sabalenka will try to establish herself as an all-rounder with her first title in Paris. The 27-year-old Belarusian knocked out four-time champion Iga Swiatek to secure her berth in the summit clash on Thursday. Gauff has been in dominant form as she ended qualifier Louis Busson's dream run in the competition with a straight-set win. Both the players have a 5-5 head-to-head record. Even on clay, the record is 1-1. In their previous meeting, Sabalenka beat Gauff in the Madrid Open final. Although with both players rooting for a maiden title, the French Open final will sure have a first-time champion this year. In soccer, England players toured the RCDE Stadium in Spain ahead of their World Cup qualifier clash against Andorra on Saturday. England will go into the match as favourites, but coach Thomas Tuchel has said that the team will have to push through after a long and gruelling season. England lead Group K after 2 games, while Andorra are at the bottom with 2 losses ahead of Saturday's match. Tuchel said that England have embraced the tag as huge favourites, promising an attacking lineup that will dominate possession. And that's all in this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And for those on the go, you can download our DD India mobile app for news and updates from India and around the world. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja. From all of us here in New Delhi, thank you for watching. Namaskar.